How's it going, everybody? It's Wade here, XL Painting Contractors. I don't normally do this because I'm in my truck at the moment and too much noise and traffic and that, but I'm actually sitting in good old Auckland traffic going almost doing 15 kilometers an hour, so it's ridiculous. So I just wanted to get on here, and I didn't get a chance today to do what I was meant to, which is be in the office. I've had a little bit of a challenge with my computer, so I had an update that was, which it was an update, but apparently my computer can't handle the new update, something about not being compatible with Windows 11 updates, and it's had a frit. So anyway, I've had to be diligent and figure out how to get my laptop to get all the stuff from the other computer onto that, and that's been a bit of a challenge. So I've had a customer in the last week that has it's been a challenge for them to let go. The issue is that they want the ceiling in their house, their rental house, completely repainted. Now it's a fairly big area, and it's a sloping ceiling, so it goes from like a 4.8 stud down to a 2.4 or 2.2 stud sloping ceiling. The house hasn't been painted for over 15 years, and there's flaking paint. Now I've only had a look at photos, but the photos I have seen show that the paint is going all the way back to bare, which means there's no undercoat on there, because if there was undercoat, it was all, especially back then, it would have been oil-based undercoat. There'd be primer on there, and there's no way it wouldn't be on there. So I've said, look, the thing is that we can scrape it all back, and then we put an oil-based primer on it, and then we plaster up and make sure it's nice and smooth. Then put another undercoat on it, put an acrylic sealer, because everything's done then, you've put your oil-based primer on it, and then 2 top coats of sealing flat. The thing is, I gave her the price on it, and she's had a heart attack. We're not just painting a new ceiling, this is basically going to an old ceiling, and we've got to spend a lot of time to make that surface sound. Now, that's not really the issue, that's not her problem. Her problem is that she wants me to guarantee it, and I said I can guarantee that what I put on will stick to the primer I put on, but I can't, and I've talked to you about this before, I can't guarantee what's underneath of that. I will do my absolute best to make it last as long as I can, but you know, it could last 5 years, it could last 15 years, but the only way to 100% guarantee that is to take everything off, and with jib you can't really do that. So what you'd be doing is rejibbing it. So we're at a crossroads at the moment. She's going to get someone in to look at, she's had 5 other painters look at it, they've all come back, some of them way cheaper than me, some of them similar price. So now she's looking at rejibbing the whole thing. So I guess the long and the short of it is that you know, you're going to get the ceilings in your house repainted, and if it's a rental, relining the ceilings is a big job, and it's a lot of money. So you've got to weigh up what you're really looking for. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Do you want something that's going to look reasonably clean and tidy, and you might have the odd failing over the next 10 years? Because remember, we're going to put a pigmented sealer on there, which isn't bulletproof, but it's the closest thing we've got to the gold standard for how to make sure that your ceiling stands up to it. It's what, if you go to any specifications, exactly what they're going to tell you to do is put an oil-based primer, or more importantly, pigmented sealer. Now, you know, there'll be some contractors out there that'll probably have a different approach, but that's my approach, and that's the approach that I know has worked for me for the last 30 years. But if you're looking at getting your ceiling done, again, go to a painter that's got a reputation. Go and talk to your paint manufacturers, and maybe talk to a builder. So get a builder in to look at maybe relining the ceiling. Like, that's an extreme, as from my point of view, because although the ceiling has failed, it's not a mass fail. It's not everywhere. So yes, it probably hasn't been undercoated, but it's held up reasonably well. Where it's failing is because the plaster's cracked because there wasn't tape put in it, so that's easy fixed. All the joints we're just going to rake out and put tape in there and redo the jib and do the plastering. But before we do that, we're going to put a primer on it. So before giving up in despair, just think about what it is that you're looking for. If you want something that is going to be 100% no failing, then you're probably going to have to look at putting new jib up. If it's a house that's like this one, which is, it's old, it's old, probably a 70s home, late 70s, early 80s maybe. I'd say by the style of it, it's around 70s. And it's a rental. It's, personally, that putting a pigmented sealer on it, once we've scraped it down, pigment sealer, obviously you wash it first, all those things, all the things you expect when your paint is coming in. So anyway, I've gone too long. That's my thoughts for today, and I'm going to do another one next week. We've got a project that's starting up in Whangaparaa. That's a full repaint interior, but we're actually, part of it we're doing is going to be to do with, they've had another contractor in there who's done, it was a job that was too big for him and it hasn't come out too well, so we're going to show you how we fix that for the customer, how we bring it back to, it was a brand new area, they've painted it and there's roller marks, there's brush marks, there's runs, it's not good. So I'm going to show you how we resolve that, how we bring it back to where it was, and the importance of making sure that you find yourself a painting contractor who is registered with someone like Master Painters that has a track record, and the customer's learned his lesson. He was looking for a cheap job done well. The two don't mix. All right. Talk soon.